Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of you have asked about, and that's when to buy and when to sell. And how do you use any tools or any indicators on telling you what is a good time to sell or buy? And there is a very effective and very simple to use technical indicator, and that is called the Relative Strength Index, the RSI. It's commonly used in the stock market. It's extremely well, I wouldn't say extremely effective. I'd say short term, it's probably right 65% of the time, let's say. Long term, the percentage actually increases by a lot. So basically what RSI is the average of the upward price change compared to the average downward price change over a period of time. This is the formula they use. So the most common is a 14-day period. What is the relative strength? So if it's going up really fast, I'm just going to pull up a chart of the S&P 500 right here, which is a stock index of the 500 stocks that have the highest market cap. And basically, people use 30 and 70 as the range. So if it's at 70, it actually means that compared to the normal price movement of the stock, it's going up really fast, and we expect a reversal. So anytime you see RSI hit 70 or above and it's trading above, there's a likelihood of that coming back down on average. Now, if it's been trending up slowly, this won't be 70, right? It'll be at 50 if it's trickling up at an average rate. If it's at a 30 down here, and it's like, you know, there's price swings going on and it's going down even a little bit more, it's gonna start trending down to 30. So the strength of the buying or selling is indicated by 30 or 70. So to repeat, RSI is an indicator showing you the strength of the stock, the buying of the stock, of the price movement. So if the stock, or sorry, in this case, crypto, goes above 70, you should sell in theory. And if it goes below 30, you should buy in theory. And this is, again, extremely effective. You can see on the overall stock market, there are algorithms that kick in and start buying things right away. So you hardly see the stock market go above, on average, go above 70 and go below 30. You can look at this. It barely ever goes above and beyond these bands, and it trades wildly in between. And you can see moments like this where it actually got all the way to 17. You see a giant dip in the price up here. I'm gonna just highlight it over here. So from down here, it said to start buying because on average, this stock doesn't move downward that fast very often. You should buy. And lo and behold, it started going up and actually remained within the 30 and 70 range. Even though there was still some downward price movement, some volatility here, it still remained the 30-70 range. Now we're all wondering, how does this apply to crypto? Let's go ahead and use a tool, a website. I like to use Crypto Compare because they have this technical indicator. They have a lot of coins on here also. But basically, you can go to cryptocompare.com. You do need a login to actually get this to work. But if I click on, let's say, Bitcoin right here, you can see that I can go to charts. So now I'm looking at a chart of Bitcoin, and I can look at the RSI. So there's a thing called the volume from this bottom chart here, and I could set this to the RSI 14. You could also use 21. Basically, it gives you the average of a longer period of time, or you can actually increase your range. So going back to the S&P 500 chart, you can actually set your limits to like 20, and it will like hardly ever hit 20, but you can be more confident of buying, right? So if the RSI, if you set it to below 20 and you want to buy there, that is another strategy you can do if you're more conservative. And then even selling. If you don't want to sell it, you want to hold it for long term, you might set your RSI to like 80 instead. So 20 to 80 versus 30 to 70. Now, going back to Bitcoin over here, they actually have indicators of when to buy and when to sell based purely off of RSI. So it will say that over here, it was time to buy. I think this was a time when it hit really close to, what was this? What is this time period, by the way? Oh, this is like a very short time period. This is 14 days, it looks like. August 16th. Oh, this is, yeah, 14 days. Okay. So in this 14-day period, there was a couple of buy and sell indicators within this period of time. And then I don't want to hover my mouse too closely, but you can see that it's fairly accurate. Like over this sell signal, there was a dip here. And on this sell signal here, there was another dip here. But notice there was no buy signal. So it doesn't tell you the moments to buy and sell on any swing. It tells you when to buy and sell on a more bigger than usual movement. So here you saw this is hard because I'm blocking it, but between these two lines here, you see it dropping heavily. There was in fact a buy signal down here, and then actually it didn't go up yet. It went up a little bit, but it didn't go up that much. And there was another buy signal because the RSI was still below 30, and then it told you to buy it, and then it started going up. Then it had this giant spike up, and now it tells you to sell again because RSI is above 70, okay? So I'm trying to hammer in, it's a very simple to use tool, but there's a lot of things going on, okay? So you're going between 30 and 70, and it tells you when to buy and sell based purely off the RSI. If you look at today's RSI, it looks like it's about 58 right now. So it's actually saying don't do anything. If you don't have the asset, don't buy in. If you're holding the asset, don't sell it yet. It's saying that right now it's time to just hold. So that is essentially what RSI means. Now you can be in the situation where you buy in here at the bottom here, you buy in at 30, it goes up and you don't sell, right? And then all of a sudden it drops heavily and you're still holding it. So what you want to avoid is selling on the RSI being too low as well. And again, these are just probabilities. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin could keep going down, and if it gets above 70, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin won't keep going up. It's just averages. It's just a technical indicator based purely off the price movement on the chart. Now in the Telegram group, we talk about Loom network a lot. Let me bring that up right here. And someone asked even today, is it too late to buy Loom? Should I buy Loom right now? Now we can give an analysis saying, listen, the market cap is very low. There's a lot of upside that's potentially built in. But if you look at short-term technical indicators, it's telling you that it's overbought right now. So we would not recommend buying Loom from a short-term perspective based purely on technical indicators such as RSI. And that is essentially how you use this tool. Again, it's very powerful, but it's not 100% correct. It is only used as something in your toolbox to decide when to buy or sell any asset, whether it be crypto or the stock market. And you'll notice Loom here actually has a lot of buy and sell signals, mainly probably because it is a very volatile asset. It moves a lot up and down. But if you use this tool, it is fairly accurate. You can see at some of these, even here it said to sell, right? But it still went up over here, right? And then over here, it told you to sell again, and it was correct. It did dip down, but there was never a chance to buy back in, and it went back up. So it could tell you to sell, and you missed any buyback point. But even when it was up at the top price over here, it actually told you to buy back in, even though it's at a higher price than right here. So that is another way to look at it. It still tells you if it's a good time to buy, even if the price is higher than when you potentially sold it. So that's again, another way to use this indicator. And again, you can follow the price again. It started dipping down. So on average, it felt weak. So it was a good time to buy. And look at what happened when you bought here. It went up. And again, I think we recommended this around the newsletter. I think it was in this period of time, right? August, that was too early. We probably recommended it, about 2 weeks ago around this time. And since then, it is up about 50% since our last recommendation for this. Again, 50% is quite a steep jump, but there were in fact buy signals in between that 50% jump. And then over here, it's telling you right now, you can see this line, this movement going up right here, that it has gone up too high too fast, and that it is time to sell some or just wait for an entry point. So that's how you use relative strength index. Again, it's not 100% accurate, but it's a very powerful and actually very commonly used technical indicator for trading. You can, again, apply it to crypto, you can apply it to stocks, but again, it doesn't mean that, like we saw in this example, it tells you to sell here, it tells you to sell here, but it kept moving up. So again, it doesn't always work for the long term. It doesn't look at fundamentals, doesn't look at market cap, it only looks at price movement, but it is effective. All right, so that's all for today. If you have any questions about how this works, feel free to ask us. And again, any coins that you bring up, we can look at it from the technical side, or we can look at it from a fundamental side. That's what we're here for. That's what we want you to teach you guys to learn about crypto. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.